Namaskar, this is Dr. Anita Mazumdar again. I'm continuing with my lecture. This is my 23rd lecture, and I'm continuing with trying to explore what is genocide, which we have to understand before our application. In the meantime, I'm requesting all of you to subscribe to the channel, to like and share so that we can continue. You can also subscribe to the Swaka Harshita Foundation, where we provide all kinds of therapies. And I will put our blog on the comment section. You can go and look at the blog and what we do. We do talk about genocide and so forth. Then we're going to proceed. We're going to apply everything because we have to understand what genocide is. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about intent. So let's try to understand the intent of genocide. What constitutes the intent? United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide was adopted by the General Assembly on 9th December 1948. And what was it? Killing members of a group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of a group, deliberately infecting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or part, imposing measures intended to prevent birth within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. And these are all we have gone through. But the most important thing here is the question of intent. What is intent? There are the intent to destroy. Let's try to understand the legal meaning of intent. Katrina Mills defines intent as a state, as a special mental element required that the defendant has the mental purpose to break the law. Not only the act committed is important, but equally important is the intent behind the act. A man did not commit a theft just to steal a thing, because he thought it was his, but he had the intent to commit the crime. So this legal definition gives us a notion of intent. I intend to do something. When I'm forced to do something, or for example, take the case of a robot. A robot is fed with data and then he brings it out. That's not intentional action, but human beings have intentional action. They're aware, they're conscious of what they're doing. Now, it's very interesting, Jonorajo, who talked about genocide, Jati Vidhwans, genocide, that is, 600 years ago, he said that Suha Bhatta, who was a Kashmiri Pandit, a Brahmin, who converted to Islam, his intent was not the destruction of the Hindu race. His intent was his allegiance to Turkadarshan or Islam ideology. So can we blame him for that? Again, that is a very difficult one. Are we doing something intentionally or because we are told that it's the right thing to do? And we will talk about it in the coming lectures. Now, the concept of genocidal intent is not clear from intent to destroy. To understand it, we have to again go back to Raphael Lemkin, who constitutes the foundation, some of the foundational definitions on which the United Nations Convention on the Law of Treaties on atrocities and genocide have been based. Now, we saw before that according to Lemkin, genocide is not an immediate killing of a member of an ethnic group or a racial group or a group based on faith. It is a long-term process with different coordinated plan of action. This is very important for us, coordinated plan of action. And genocide, according to Lemkin, has two parts. All actions that infringe upon the life, liberty, health, corporeal integrity, economic existence, and honor of an individual because he belongs to a national, religion, or racial group. And we are going to talk about this in the context of the Hindus of Bangladesh who have constrained in doing their religious festivals, when they can do it or not, and also in terms of their employment, although they have the same qualifications or maybe more with the majority of the nation. The policies are aimed at the destruction of the group. See, this is where the state comes in. The state policies are such that they are their intention is to destroy a group. The first draft of the proposed convention was in 1947. It says about the intent, genocidal intent, a criminal act directed against any of the aforesaid groups based on ethnic identity, religious identity, etc., with the purpose of destroying it in whole or part, or of preventing its preservation or development. When someone's life is continuously under threat because their temples are being broken, they are being burned, their important jobs are being taken away, they are continuously under threat. It's not a one-time thing. It's like patriarchy. We are continuously under patriarchy. It's not a one-time thing. All these, it's prevention and development. All these are coming under the intent. Now, what is the relationship between intent and motive? The conflation of the two is evident from the statement of Mr. Ordonez, the French delegate. He says, and I quote, "It is not sufficient to be acquainted with the fact that the group has been destroyed, but that the reason for the destruction has to be determined." And the reason is, in the case of Bangladeshi Hindus, it's purely based on the othering of a religious group. The breaking of temples, which forms the kind of lifeline of most people who follow Hinduism, is exactly that. Mr. Ordonez was the only delegate who talked about this view, about he talks about it as the destruction has to be determined, the motive behind it. The UN Sixth Committee had to prepare the final version of the convention. And it says, it's based again on Lemkin, that genocide is the ultimate destruction of a group, national group, ethnic group, a group based on similarity of religion, and it has a special intent. It's a coordinated, planned action, and it is not done in one time. It's done over generations. So the intent to destroy is very important. The United Nations established the International Law Commission in 1996. The commission commented on the draft codes of crime against the peace and security of mankind. According to International Law Commission, ILC, the prohibited act must be committed against an individual because of his membership to a certain group and an incremental step in the overall objective of destroying the group. So a group is specifically targeted because they're a member of a community. A general intent to commit one of the enumerated acts combined with a general awareness of the probable consequence of such act with respect to the immediate victim or victims is not sufficient for the crime of genocide. The definition of this crime requires a particular state of mind or a specific intent with respect to the overall consequence of the prohibited act. So, the state of mind shows what is the intent, the ultimate intent of the breaking of temples, the burning of temples, the destruction of Hindu homes, etc., is to do away with an entire group. The international law mentions that, although there are some, it's still ongoing. I mean, it's not completed. So with this, we complete two things. We complete our overall lectures on feminist theory, and then we gave a short account of what constitutes genocide, what constitutes ethnic cleansing, and so forth. Our next step is to apply those. We are going to use some cases from Kashmiri Pandits, for example, a couple or two cases from the Kashmiri Hindu genocide, and then we are going to focus on the genocide of Hindus in Bangladesh. The basis of our theory will be Lemkin's definition, and we are going to show why, all the lectures I gave on feminist theory, why this is a feminist issue. For today's lecture, that is all. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, share, and like it. Thank you very much. Namaskar.